Hello everyone, Silent here and welcome back to another Bedrock Edition tutorial. Today I'll be showing you how to build an absolutely dead simple villager trading hall in your Bedrock Edition worlds. It really does not get any simpler or easier than this trading hall, and this is going to solve some of the major issues that you have with villagers in your world, such as transporting them and storing them. Overall, this thing is super simple. It's only going to take you a few minutes to throw together, and it's amazingly cheap as well. So let's take a look at how it works. So what you see before you here is a single cell villager trading hall, which isn't very useful, but you can build your villager trading hall at any size, scale, or shape that you want to. And you'll basically just be building a bunch of these little cells one after another. So your little villager trading hall is going to have three main parts. Part one is of course going to be villager storage, where you have a bunch of adult villagers ready to go into your trading hall. And you'll be getting these guys from a villager breeder, kind of like that one over there actually. Part two is the rail line that is actually going to be going behind all of your villager trading cells. So no matter what size or shape you make your trading hall, every single cell needs to have this rail line going behind it in order for the villagers to get into these cells. So then of course part three is the actual villager trading cell right here. Your villagers will be plopped directly into the cell. They will never be able to escape, and they are completely protected on all sides from zombies and baby zombies, so they will not get eaten or die. Now, if we go ahead and place a minecart on the back side of this, the villager will get into that, it'll roll over the activator rail, and the activator rail will eject the villager directly downwards into your trading cell. And this guy is here to stay. We can also go ahead and flick the lever, that way if we kill this guy, the activator rail stays turned off, and we can keep the cell empty. This makes it really easy to optimize your trading hall to have all of your librarians right next to each other, or put all of your farmers into one area, and it just make it more organized. So of course you're free to make your villager trading hall at any size or scale that you want to. You can have a straight line like this one, or you can make a circular villager trading hall, kind of like this one over here. And you definitely want to make it a bit larger than this, because this one's a little bit claustrophobic. But at the same time, you can also trade with every single villager from a single square. So you know what, maybe this one is kind of convenient. Or you can make it long as well. There really is extreme freedom when it comes to this design. You can do just about anything that you want to. And you can stack these cells on top of each other as well to have two independent trading halls, or just to make a very tall trading hall. And you would actually have 3 blocks between your floor and ceiling as well, so it's nice and comfortable to walk around. And of course, if you wanted to, you could space these out even more to have like 5 blocks between your floors. And ultimately, it's Minecraft, so the true limitation is your imagination. There is a slight Minecraft bug that you need to be aware of when building this design. However, it is extremely easy to work around, and I have 2 basic solutions for you. So the bug is that whenever you have a villager, or probably any entity standing on a pressure plate, that can kind of break the pressure plate and the redstone torch, and that can cause the activator rail to stay turned on, even though, as you can see, it clearly has no redstone power. I don't know why this happens, but welcome to Bedrock Edition. No matter how simple your redstone is, there's gonna be something that's breaking it. Now, the simple solution to this one is to either have a lever right here and simply flick that for any cell that has a villager in it, so it becomes more of a manual process. However, this is only an issue if you plan on swapping out your villagers very often. So if you don't plan on swapping them out often, having a lever there shouldn't be a big deal. Now, that is solution number 1, and solution number 2 actually uses another bug, where if an observer is facing a powered piece of redstone dust, it'll send an update every single time it's loaded, and that will actually send an update to your activator rails and tell them that they're not actually powered, so they should turn off. And of course, this is a simple redstone line that can be hooked up to any villager trading hall, no matter what scale, shape, or size you have it on. And honestly, neither of these solutions are really that big of a pain in the butt. However, you know, it's kind of silly that we even need them in the first place. And let's hop into the tutorial, shall we? For your convenience, there's a materials listed down in the description of the video. However, the amount of resources that you need is going to depend on how many cells you're building and the size and shape of your trading hall, so a materials list might not be as helpful as you think. However, as you can see here, we have the basic layout of a trading hall in place. We have 8 blocks. Each one of these is going to be for a single villager, and you're going to need 1 block in front of each cell, along with 1 to 2 blocks behind each cell. A single layer trading hall is going to be 4 to 5 blocks tall. So the basic layout is what you should establish first. Just place down a block every other block, and these are the blocks that your villagers are going to be standing on. When it comes to going around a corner, you should simply place in your block and then your next one. But of course, we can't have a villager in the very corner, so we're just going to remove that one and just not worry about it. Every single one of these blocks needs a pressure plate on top of it. You can use any kind of pressure plate that you want to, and all of these also need a redstone torch on the back side of them as well. We also need to put our optional levers on the front of these blocks, and of course do that for every cell in your trading hall. Now that all of those are installed, we're going to go ahead and put a solid block above every single one of these redstone torches, and this is going to be the foundations of our rail line. So just go ahead and bring that around the entire system, and every place that you have a villager cell, we're going to be placing in an activator rail. And that rail should turn on and glow red due to the activator rail below it, so do that for every single one of your cells. Now let's go ahead and finish up the rail system. So we're going to go to either end of our trading hall and put in one powered rail. You can power that with a lever on any side that you want to, and we'll come back to these a little bit later as well. On the corners, you also want to put a powered rail on either side and then power those on the back sides with a lever. And then in between your activator rails, you actually want some more powered rails as well. Activator rails significantly slow down an empty minecart, so we need to put in more powered rails than you might expect. And I would be a little bit generous with these things, putting them every 3 to 4 blocks. Once you have your powered rails installed, just go ahead and put in a regular rail in any of the leftover spaces to complete the line. And now we need to put a piece of glass above every single piece of rail in our system, and that is to prevent our activator rails from dropping the villager on the rail line. And now it's time to box in our villager trading cells. You can do these with any blocks that you'd like to make them look pretty, and basically what we need to do is just put this little shape around every single one of our cells, and this is going to prevent our villagers from getting dropped off in places where they shouldn't. So this is basically all there is to it. You just do this around every single cell. For the finishing touches of the cells, we're going to go ahead and put ourselves a piece of glass, or really anything in front of the cell right there. Place in a trapdoor right here, and then flick that downwards, and place another trapdoor on that. This trapdoor is right here so that you can either close off the cell if you want to, but it also prevents baby zombies from jumping into your cell. And admittedly, the one in the back is also for baby zombies too. I would highly recommend that you install both of these, as you do not want to lose any of your villagers to baby zombies. If a baby zombie can get into your cell, it only takes one to ruin your entire trading hall. Another bonus of having this trapdoor right here is that your villagers will never actually be able to escape it, even if you remove the block on the front of it, which makes it very easy to reroll their trades using workstations, as you can break the workstation that's in front of them and then place it back whenever you want to, and the villager is not going to be going anywhere. If you think you're going to be swapping out your cells very often, aka killing your villagers or otherwise taking them out of there, you'll notice that your pressure plate will get unpowered, and that will flip up your trapdoor horizontally. All you need to do to prevent this is put a lever on top of the build and then flick that, and that will keep your trapdoor powered. And that is your entire villager trading hall completely done, but now we need to hook up the input for villagers and then the output as well. The output is basically just going to be a little manual on and off switch for your minecart to turn it off and keep it from going back and forth all the time. So basically just have a lever somewhere where you can access it, and that'll power your powered rail. Whenever you turn that off, your minecart will get stuck right there. That way you're not hearing it all the time. And then if you want to fill up your trading hall, you can simply flick that lever. That'll activate your minecart and fill in any empty slots that you might have. Your villager input is going to be custom depending on your villager breeder situation and how exactly you're getting villagers, but the most basic version of it is basically going out by 3 blocks, going up by a block, and then just having powered rail on all of that. Placing in a temporary block and then surrounding that with some glass, and then you'll be dropping in your villagers into here using some form of maybe a water stream, or I don't know, it's really going to depend on what exactly your setup is. Regardless, make sure that you don't have any nitwits, and make sure that you don't have any baby villagers, because those guys are just a pain to deal with. But once you have villagers hooked up to your minecart rail line, you can go ahead and turn on your lever, and that'll be grabbing villagers from your storage and putting them directly into your trading hall. You can go ahead and re-roll them and do whatever you want. So as you can see, our minecart is going around the entirety entirety of the system. It's grabbing villagers and it's putting them into our cells one after another. If we want to skip a cell like this one right here, we can simply flick our lever and then that will not fill in that cell. As you can see, it skipped right over it. So you can use this to your advantage to organize your trading hall, and that is pretty much all there is to it. Depending on how close you are to other villager infrastructure, you may need to create a village. I would recommend just going ahead and placing down 2 beds behind this system, and those villagers should link to those beds. Never sleep in these beds and never destroy these beds, as that could cause every single villager in your trading hall to unlink from their workstation. So now that you have created a village, we can go ahead and start breaking these glass blocks and putting in a workstation, and we'll see that somebody in this trading hall should link to that workstation. Find out who linked to it, and then simply put the workstation directly in front of them. They need to be linked to the workstation that is right in front of them, otherwise they will not work at it, and they will not restock. So you'll need to do this linking process for every villager in your trading hall. It can take a while if you have a whole bunch of villagers, but just pay attention to the ones that have the green particles around them. Once you see someone with green particles, break the workstation, put it directly in front of them, wait for them to link to it, and then you're good to go. So of course, your floor layer is going to be right here at this layer, so you'll build that up after you're done with the trading hall. And if you ever want to have easy access to your levers without breaking your workstations, all you need to do is place a stair right here, and then you can access your levers and do whatever you want with them. And that is the basics of how you set up a villager trading hall using this system. Hopefully there's no weird bugs or issues with this trading hall, because every other trading hall that I've ever made for Bedrock has always had something weird or strange happen to it. And really, like, this one's so simple. I mean, come on, can I just get a break here? Anyway, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, of course, let me know in the comment section down below. But I hope that you have greatly enjoyed today's Bedrock Edition tutorial. If you have, then consider leaving a like on the video or possibly subscribing. It is the best way to support the channel and make sure that you see more videos like this one in the future. I'll see you guys down in the comment section and in the next one. Thanks again for watching, and then there was silence.